Hi all, welcome to another RPA tutorial video. Today in this video we are going to see a complete project. So here we are going to see how we can develop a real-time project, okay, using all the best practices which we are using during our real-time projects during our work. Okay, so in this particular project we are going to interact with a different applications like SAP, email, Salesforce, and the Excel. So this is a complete project. So we will do the development, okay, in two part. Okay, so this is the first part of this training video, and next part I will create very soon. Okay. Okay, before move on, so those who are very new to this channel, I would request you to kindly subscribe this channel and click on the bell icon button so you can get the notification on my next video. If you're looking for a RPA project support or RPA project development or RPA training, you can please contact us in the mentioned mail ID, which is rpa.developers1@gmail.com. Or if you are looking for uh, any kind of help and support in terms of RPA for Automation Anywhere or UiPath or a Blue Prism, you can please contact us via mention details. All right, so let's start. So as I said, like we are going to work with a real-time projects, right? So in this particular project we are going to do so many things. So if you see this, so this is the process flow of this particular real-time process. So if you see like here, we are going to use the PDF. So bot is going to check and read the PDF from the shared drive. If you see the process, right, so it is going to read the data from the PDF, then it will go to the SAP and it will perform some actions. After that it will go to the Salesforce. So it is doing so many steps. Okay, so all right, so now we are going to the Automation Anywhere. So let me go to the Automation Anywhere. Okay, so I have already created a folder structure for this. Okay, so as per the process, bot will get a data in the input folder. Okay, so this is the folder structure I have created here. If I go to the input folder, if you have noticed in the process flow, it is checking and reading the PDF files from the shared drive, right? So this is my first step. So these are the PDF files. So these PDF files are all this, the information in this PDF file is related with the business account creation. Okay, so business partners account. Okay, so this is the new connection request. So for example, so here in this particular real time project, we are going to create a request which we receive from the customer. So in utility account, customers are sending different types of like request to the service provider. So in this particular case we are using the electricity. Okay, so to get the electricity connections, first what we have to do, we have to create the customer account in the SAP, right? After that only we can process for the next. So this is the part one. Okay, so here we are going to read some information from the PDF, and we will create customer business partner account in the SAP. So we will read these details like name, address, country code, etc., etc. So if you see, like this is the request from the customer asking for the they're looking for electricity meter installations. Okay, so now let me go to the SAP so I can show you what we are going to do with the SAP. So in SAP we have a T code called BP. So BP is like business partners. So my bot will open the SAP a T code called BP, and it will read the required information from this PDF, and it will fill into the SAP page. After that, it will go to the Salesforce. So this is so based on the data available in the PDF. So you can see like we have connections type as a domestic. So based on it's like what is the value available under the connection type, so domestic or commercial. Based on that, bot will select like it's like a person or organization or what. If I click here, it will open a page where we need to fill the details, which will help us on creating the business partner number. So it will, okay, now we are here. So here only we are going to fill the details. Okay, and based on that, like after filling the details here, the business partner number will create it. Okay, all right. So we will do these things step by step. If you see this process steps, right, we have to follow certain steps, right, to complete this requirement or complete this process. Okay, so to make you understand, I have written down some information here in the Word file so we can understand. So we will start our process by reading data from the configuration file. Okay, so this is the configuration file which I have created. Okay, so we are not going to keep anything hard coded. We will use the information from the configuration file which I'm using in a notepad format, right? So advantage of using this configuration file is, like, in case in future if anything is getting changed, let's say the Salesforce path or the SAP user ID or any other information is getting changed, then no need to make changes in the code. We will directly change here and it will reflect into the my code. Okay, okay. After that, we will call a subtask for the folder creation. As I said, like, initially I have created these folders. Okay, you can see like I have an input, output, log, and this is the config file. So that task will, what the task is going to do, it is going to check and create the folder. So let me open that task also so we can move to the next step. So this is the task for the folder creation. This is mandatory, like, you have to create this folder structure task also before starting your complete development. So I have added the error handling part also. So these are the tasks which I am using here. Okay, now let me move to the WordPad so we can discuss other things. Okay, after this folder creation part, we will going to the SAP and the Salesforce part. Okay, so initially I will open the SAP and Salesforce and I will logged into the both the applications, right? The next we will move into the main task, which is we have to read the PDF, right? If I go here in the input folder, you can see we have five PDF files, right? So these are the PDF files for the electricity connection request. So we have to build a logic which will, like, read all the value from here and it will store into the variable, right? Okay, so this is the fifth step which we have to do. And for today's, like, first part, we are going to do the SAP part also, right? So we will first we will read the value from the PDF, then we will write into the SAP. In SAP I'm going to use the SAP metabot as well as the script. Okay, so, like, in case of your, like, requirement, or like if you think you can use the script or metabot, so based on your requirement you can go ahead and use. So here the motto of using script and metabot in this particular process or the project is to make you people understand how we can use metabot or the script file. Okay, it's up to you. You have to decide like which one is best for you. So demonstrate you how we are going to use both the things I'm going to use here. Okay, all right, so let's start the development. Okay, so here I have already called that task for the folder creation. Okay, now, so as I said, what we have to do, we have to work with the config file, right? So let me make it bold so we can understand. So I'm putting comments here. Okay, so it's like, mandatory to put some comments. So let's put a value here, information like read and okay, and I'm doing a save. And I've already created the required variables here, so it will not take much time, because otherwise, this video will be so long. So I have tried to, like, reduce the duration of this video. Okay, for it, so just follow with me, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, and in my previous video I have already explained about, like, how we can read the value from the configuration file. So here also you can see how we are going to read it. Okay. Okay, so first I'm going to create another variable. Okay, so here I will put our name as config path. Okay, I will keep as a value type and I will save it. Okay, now if you see here, my configuration file is available here, right? So we have to select this path. I'm going to automation anywhere and I will use the variable operation to assign this path to a variable called vconfig path. Okay, so I'm going to select that variable from here. Okay, and putting here, and I have to put the file name exactly. Okay, so I will copy this. Okay, so my variable vconfig path will have a value for this configuration file. Okay, another thing, like we can use here the A application path instead of using this long path. Okay, this looks good now. Now we are going to read value from the configuration file. Okay, so first we are going to use this input file, input folder, right? So I'm going to create here some variables. I will put here the variable name, and here I will select from read from the text. So here you have to put some dummy value dot txt. Okay, similarly we have to create a variable for others also. Okay, so let me create all the variables which is available here in the configuration file, so we can use the same while start the development of the task, other task. So we have done with the variable creation part. Now we are going to assign the path to this variable so it can read the value from the variable config file, right? So let me do that also. Okay, so we have done with this. Okay, now as per the Word file which I have created, we have done with this part. This subfolder subtask for folder creation is also ready. Now we will we are going to work for now the SAP and Salesforce login part. Okay, so let me go to here. Okay, so I'm putting some comments here. So if you put the comment properly, then it will be easy for other people to understand like what exactly your bot is doing in this step. Okay. So now I'm using a value from the configuration file, right? So let me do a save. So it will open this page of the SAP, right? As per the process, after opening this SAP logon 720, I have to click here on the SAP name. Okay. So now let me go to the automation anywhere. I will put some delay here so it can wait for some time. So let's put something like 3 seconds of delay. I'm clicking on save. Okay, now we will use the object cloning to click on the SAP name. So if you see here, the name of the window is SAP Login 720. So we will select that. Okay, and you have to use the proper wildcard also, right? So in future, the 720 might change to some other value also. So it's better to change that into the wildcard. Okay, so now click on the capture. It will take you here, right? So now, or what we can do, we can come here in this box and we will type the SAP. So it will select. So first we will try to check manually how it is working. If I type SAP and if I press enter, it is opening this page. Okay, this looks good. So now let me delete this. In this box, we will use set text and we will type this SAP. Okay, and after that, let me put another delay here. Let's put like 2 seconds of delay. Next, I will use a keystroke which will press the enter. Okay. So same thing here. I will select this SAP logon and I will put a enter. Okay. So let me quickly run this part. I'm closing this. Okay. So bot can open the page which we are expecting. I'm running from here. Okay. Working fine. Now we are going to use the SAP metabot to logged into this particular SAP, right? If we try to use the object cloning, it will not work here, right? Because SAP will not allow you to use the object cloning. So we will go and use the metabot. So let me put a comment here. Okay. So let me do a save. Okay, now if I go here, so I have the metabot which is available here, right? So this is the metabot which is available for the SAP part. Okay, to use this metabot, what first have to do, we have to get the object ID for this username and field box, password field box. Okay, so I have already created a couple of videos based on the SAP. Okay, so I'm not going to explain you more about here in this particular tutorial. So I'm going to directly get the object ID for this username and the password field. So we can use the metabot to complete this login process. Okay. So here actually this script recording is disabled for me, so I have to enable it first. To enable it, I have a T code called RZ11. Okay, so I have to go here and I have to write down this information. If you click on display, it will take you in a different page. Then here you have to click on change value, and here you have to write as true and click on save. So it will give you the access to use the SAP script recording. Okay. Now let me click on close. Again, I'm going here and I'm opening the SAP. Okay. If I click here, now you can see SAP script recording playback is ready now. So let's put some value as so here put some name so we can remember it. SAP logon. Okay. Click here. The recording is on now. So let's put something like RPA board. Then I'm putting something like that. Okay, and I will stop it. Okay, now I will go to the VVS code to get the object ID, right? So this is the SAP recording which I'm looking for. So let me close this. All right, so if you see this recording, you can understand this is the object ID for the username because I have given the username, and this is for the password, right? Now let me go to the automation anywhere, and I will select this SAP automation metabot, right? Okay, so here first we are going to use the option called login with existing session, and I will put a value as 0 so it can establish the connections between SAP and the metabot. The next, I will again drag and drop this metabot here, and I will use a logic for search by object ID. Here in the search by object ID field, I'm going to use this object ID, okay, to put the username. So here I will put this and I will click save. Then we have to put the username also, right? So I will keep another logic here, set text, okay. Here in set text, I will use the VSAP username, okay, which we are reading from the configuration file, and I will do a save. The same thing I am gonna do for the password also, okay. So for password, I'm going to use this object ID. I will save this. Next is I have to put the password, right? So I will remove this and I will select the variable for the SAP password. So this is the variable which, okay. Now my SAP login ID and password is now done. The next I have to place a keystroke for the enter, right? So here if you see like execute enter, okay, which will do the enter part. Okay, now we are good. Okay, so what I'm thinking now to run the bot, I'm closing everything from here so we can run and test whether bot is running fine or not. So let me close this. So we have closed everything. I'm closing this also. So I'm running the bot from the beginning. Okay. So great. It is working fine. Okay. All right. So I'm just disabling this task because we don't need it now. Okay. Once our entire code will be ready, then we will run this task. Okay, together. Okay. So now what next I have to do? I have to logged into the Salesforce also. So let me put a comment for Salesforce. So here in Salesforce, what we are doing here, so bot will go to the Salesforce and it will create the customer account here also. So the value which we are going to read from the PDF, we need to fill into SAP to create the business partner account, as well as we have to keep this value in the Salesforce also for the future purpose, right? So this is a kind of database we are using to store the customer information for the future purpose. Okay, so now let me close this. So I'm just let me logged out from here so I can start the process. Okay, I'm going here. So again, I'm going to the commands, and here I will use a web recorder. Okay, in web recorder, we will use open browser. Okay, in the open browser, we will use a URL is v Salesforce link. Okay, and click on save. So now this SAP part is working fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to disable it. So otherwise it will again run it, right? So to do the test, I want to reduce these things. So I'm just doing this disable. So let me run it so it can open the SAP. So we will do the SAP, I'm sorry, it will open the Salesforce. Then we will do the login part. All right, so Salesforce is here now. We need to put the user ID and the password. So here I'm going to use some delay. Okay, so it can open. Instead of using the delay, we can use the wait for screen change also. Okay, so I'm going to object cloning. So get the window name. So window name is login Salesforce. Okay, important thing, like we have to use wildcard here because today you are using Internet Explorer. In future, you might use the Google Chrome or other browser also. So it's better to not to make anything hard coded here. Okay, so username we have captured successfully, because we have to be careful and we have to see here, is there anything which is going to change in the future? Okay, if not, then no need to make any changes, else go ahead and make the changes. So here we will use a Salesforce user ID. Okay, I will put here 1 seconds of delay, and now we will capture the password field. So I will here use a v Salesforce password. Okay, the next is we have to click on the login button. Oh, I think I have not captured this. It's done. Okay, I have to click on the login now. I'm going to select this and click on the login. Okay, all right, so now let me close the Salesforce and we will run this bot from here to check whether it is logged into Salesforce or not. Okay, it's logged in. Okay, now so we might get this type of, the window which it can come sometime, it cannot come sometime. So what we will do, we will use a conditions here to work with this type of unwanted windows, right? So as per the requirement, I have to click here, remind me later. So now let me put another delay here. I'm putting a delay of 2 seconds. Then we will go to the if. Okay, and from here we have to select. Okay, so we are going to use here a window exist. Okay, if this window is coming, then we will click on the button called remind me later. Okay, so let me minimize it. If you see, the window name is register your mobile phone, right? So if you refresh and click here, so this is the part which we are getting here. So let me put an asterisk symbol here also. Okay, so now if this window will come, I'm going to use a object cloning here also. So let me copy this object cloning. I'm going to change this window name, and I will capture this field. Okay, I will capture it. Okay, remind me later. So in future, if this window will come, then my bot will click on the remind me later. Okay, so let's run this from here to verify whether it is working or not. Okay, it is working fine. Okay, so initially my bot is going to do, my bot will logged into the SAP, it will read the value from the config file, and then it will logged into the Salesforce. Okay, so this part is done now. So this is like, one time activities which we have to do when our bot is starting, right? So we have done with this part also. Now we are going to read the data from the PDF. Okay, so now we are going to start the main process. Okay, so I will put here. Okay, okay, so as per the process, I have to read all the PDF files, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to do a loop, right? We are going to use a loop. So let me go to the commands called, okay, loop. So in the loop, we have a sub command called each file in a folder. I'm going to use this. Okay, before going to the loop, first what we will do, we will use a PDF integration command to get the value from the PDF, right? So I'm going to open this. So we are going to read the extract form field, right? So let me drag here. So I'm going to select the file first, right? So I'm going here. So let's take this path. I'm selecting first file. Okay. Now we'll click on the add. Okay. Once you click on the add, it will open the PDF and it will give you options to read the value and assign into the variables. Okay. So first I'm going to read the name. Okay. So I'm going to click here. So I'm going to read all the value which we need to create the customer business partner account in the SAP. So I'm line by line, I'm going to read and assign into the variables. So we have done with this part. Okay, so we have but properly mapped all the field which we are going to use in the next task. Okay, so let me click on save, and let me put a message box to run this particular PDF command to get, whether we are getting the correct value or not. So I'm going to use this true value. Okay, we will verify whether it is running fine or not. So let me click on run, so we can see. All right, so we are able to read the value from the PDF. Now, as you saw in the folder, we have like more than one files, so we have to use the loop, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to the loop command, and here I'm going to use the each file in a folder. Okay, I will place here, and I will put this path. Okay. Instead of putting this path, we have already defined the path, right? So v input folder, in v input folder. So if I go here, you can see here, this is my input folder path, right? So this path is starting from here. So before that, we have to use the AA application path, right? So it will complete the path. I will click on save. Now I will place this command inside the loop. Okay. Okay. So here we have to make some changes. Okay. So here also I'm going to use the AA application path instead of this complete path. And another thing, what we have to use here, we have to use the file name, right? Because my file name is getting changed all the time. So we will use a system variable called file name. Okay. And the extension is PDF. So I will keep as a PDF. Now let me run this code. Okay. Now I'm going to disable this part also. Otherwise it is going to run again and again. So let me run, so we can see the bot is running properly and reading the correct information from the PDF or not. Okay, so this is the first PDF, second, third, fourth, and the fifth one, right? Okay, okay, it's work fine now. All right, before going forward, so we have to put some conditions here, right? So what if the file is blank, right? So let's say if the data is not there, then your bot will fail, right? So what you have to do, in the loop we have to put some logic. So let me select this and make it disable. I'm going to the if conditions, and here I will use a variable. Okay, and I will put a conditions to do the check, right? So here I'm going to use file name, right? So if there will be no data, then file name will be blank, otherwise it has some value, right? So I'm going to use if file name not equals to blank, right? It means if some file is there, then only my bot is going to read the value from this PDF, right? I'm going to place here. Now I'm going to enable it, and again I will put a else also. What else, like, in case if you don't have a file available, so what we are going to do? So as per the process, if you don't have the input data available, then my bot is not supposed to go to the next, right? Otherwise unnecessary it will go and run, it will create a problem, right? So if you, I hope you understood this requirement, right? So we are putting this a check, right? My first bot will go to this folder and it will start the reading file from the folder, and it will check, like, the file name. Okay, where we are assigning the file name in the system variable, whether it is a blank or it has some file name. If it is not blank, then bot will read the value from the PDF and it will assign into the variables. If it is a blank, let's say no file is available, then my bot will stop here, it will not go to the next. Okay, so now I have created a sample email, okay, which will we are going to use here. So this is like, I've already created a send email command with the required information. So let me click on enable. If I open it, so I have mentioned like, the BP creation PDF files are not available in the shared drive. Please check and put the files and rerun the word, right? So you have to put the detail. And here you can put another details. Okay, let's put like a date. Okay, so people can understand in which date it got failed. So let me click on save. Okay, so now it looks good now. Okay, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to enable everything. Okay, and I'm going to run this bot completely. Okay, the next things which is pending now is we have to work with the SAP and the Salesforce part, right? So let me close everything so we can run and we can verify whether we are getting any error or it is running fine. So now let me go to the Salesforce also. So let me logged off. Okay, so now let me click on run. So bot is logged into SAP and the Salesforce. It logged in successfully. Now you saw like again we have got that box. Okay, so now it is reading the value from the PDF. Okay. Now I'm closing because mistakenly I have ran this task twice. Okay, so here we got a problem, right? Bot is not able to logged into the SAP. So now let me check why it not logged into the SAP. It open the SAP. It is creating login with existing session. Okay, so let's troubleshoot this part. So you might get this type of scenario while running the bot. Okay, so let me disable this. Okay. And this part is already done. So my bot is open. So let me run it from here. Okay, so let's see whether bot is able to put the user ID or password. So let me maximize it. Okay, so it is saying field is empty. And so what we are doing here, search by log object ID, then we are doing the set text. Okay, okay, understood. So we have to run from the beginning because it is reading username from the configuration file. This time it ran. Okay, so what happened exactly, if you notice this task, so after pressing the enter, right, we have not given any delay. It went to the different task, different part of the code, like logged into Salesforce. So it's good practice to put some delay. Okay, so it can get some time and it can complete the required action. So let's say I'm putting here delay for 3 seconds, and now I'm doing a save. So we have completed till this PDF part as well. So we have left with like, other part, which is like, we have to create this SAP task as well as the Salesforce task. And apart from this, like we have like, we have to put the error handling, right? And we have to put the log also, right? Log to file. So these are the things which is currently pending. So this like, this three things is pending from my side. Okay, so this will again, it is going to take some time. So I'm going to do these things in the next video. So for today's video, this is the part one. So we have successfully done with like, logged into the SAP Salesforce and reading data from the PDF part, and which is running fine also. Okay, so being a best practice, or like, what you have to do whenever you work in a live project or a real-time project, you have to put all the information which we are, supposed to put. Okay, so in error handling also, we will talk in more details how we are going to handle in case of any error, or how we are going to capture the details, or what are the information we need to put in a log file, right? So like, it will help us to understand how the bot is doing the performance and other required information. Okay, so that's all from today's video. Soon I'm going to create a part two. Okay, so there, like, it will have all the information. We will work again and we will complete the part two and we will run the bot completely there. Okay, so all right, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you understood this process. And in case of any questions or any comments, if you have, kindly go ahead and post in the comment section. And don't forget to share this video with other people also, so they can also learn this RPA. So you may aware, like, RPA is growing very fast and it will help you to get job faster also. So in case if you have any query, go ahead and mail us or contact us via YouTube comment section. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.